Okay, so here we are in the fixtheworldproject.org, and we are in the news from Hopgirl blog, QEG Greece, introducing Odyssevs Hellas, blah blah blah. Okay, and we go to the Hellenic theory, which is, by the way, was inspired by the Hopgirl and her first, and one of her seminars in England. She tried to explain how the QEG works, and this is where I got the idea. I got it really from Hopgirl. So here is trying to say, I try to say somewhere here, we know in music when two instruments or violins are playing that we are not using arithmetic because 1 + 1 is not 2 in music while in harmony. Instead we are using the number of instruments by itself or in the square. So we'll try now to prove this here in a small QEG bifilar coil. In this coil we have two windings. One is the beginning of one winding is the red, and the end is on the other side the red, and the beginning of the second wire is the orange, and the end is the orange. So we will measure the first coil. It's like the first violin. Is instead of instruments we are using magnetic fields now in QEG, and we are going to measure the inductance instead of the magnetic field, which is really the resistance of the coil here, created by a magnetic field. Okay, so now we see the first coil. Here's our first coil. M1 is equal to 15.8 microhenries. 15.8 microhenries, or about 16 to make it square, about 16 microhenries. And this was the red. We measure now the orange winding, bifilar winding, alone, and this is also the same. This is M2 is equals 16.2 microhenry, about approximately also 16 microhenries. Okay, so now if we add these two magnetic fields, M1 plus M2, in other words, if we didn't have a bifilar coil by the patent of Tesla, and we had a continuous coil of the length of these two coils, we should really have M1 plus M2. In other words, we should have 16 plus 16. We should have 32 microhenries. But we're going to connect it now in a bifilar way, which we will take the end of the first one and put it to the beginning of the next one. That means when a current goes in, it will create a magnetic field in this direction, and it will come to the second coil and will create another magnetic field in this direction. They will be in phase, and they will be like the two violins in resonance. So we should not have M1 plus M2, we should have something else. We measure now the result, and we have here is the red. The end of the red will go to the beginning of the second coil, which is M2, the beginning, and the end we measure. So now we have this configuration here, the bifilar connection of Tesla. And now, instead of 32 microhenries, we really have 62. We have a total of 62 microhenries, which means that we do not have M1 plus M2, which is 16 plus 16, but we have now an imaginary coil here with 16 and 16. In other words, we have 2 to the square, which is 4. It's like we have 4 coils. So this is really proved. If we had 3 coils, we will have really like 9 coils. And this is the proof of our physics and resonance with magnetic fields.